Hey paper crafters, thank you so much for joining me today. I love that you took the time to pop by my channel, check out the video that I've got going, and hopefully stay and poke around a little bit. I'm really excited to be able to offer some videos now and then and share my love of paper crafting. So I hope you find something that you enjoy and come back to see me another time. Bye-bye. Hey there paper crafting friends, and thanks for joining me today. One of the first things that I noticed when I opened up the February 2021 Kiwi Club Kit was that the colors reminded me a lot of our From the Heart double Kwik card kit. So I went through and I found a few of the sentiments from this month's club kit, and I decided to use what I have left from my From the Heart kit to create a few cards. So I just wanted to share that process with you. So these are the cards that I chose, and you're gonna laugh when you see this, but here is my collection of scraps. So many of them are just loose pieces, and then I've got some from, each bag. So it's always crazy to me how much there is left from these kits. So the first thing that I want to do is create some pieces that I can actually build on. And I had this base left, and I also have a piece that's pretty good size, and I think I could work from this one as well. So to make a card to where it's going to nest inside a typical A2 card base, if I just want to make a card front, I need to get that 1/4 of an inch shorter on each side so that I can nest it. So I am going to, this should be 4 1/4. Yep. So I want to make this 4 inches. And then it would also be by 5 1/2. Now I do not have that measurement with me on this little tiny trimmer, but I know about how much to take off. So let's just double check that that will nest appropriately. Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut 2 more pieces out of this, and that'll give me either a pink side or more of a white pattern side to work from, depending on what we end up deciding that we want. So just remember, 4 by 5 1/4 will nest inside a typical A2 card base. Okay. I rarely create straight on the front of a card, once in a while, but I'm definitely somebody who's more likely to just create on a front and go from there. So I've got these. Look at the back of this. It's actually a recipe card. Okay, so I've got these 3 are what I'm working from. And then my next step would be to figure out which sentiment I'm going to put with each. And I will show you like one of the card bases that I have that I was thinking might work for this is actually like a soft blue. And I think this one here that has the butterfly might have just enough of that color to kind of create something cool. So we'll see if I can kind of tie that one all together. And then these could really go either way. I think I'm going to go that way. Even though this feels a little matchy-matchy, I can definitely do some stuff with that. So I'm going to just start going into this pile of scraps that I have and see what I've got that might work. So right off the bat, I've got this piece that was just left over from a card that I had done. So I'm going to think about using something like that. Let's see what else we got. This is the best part of saving your scraps, is you end up with these really cool pieces that are already cut and ready to play with. So that's nice. We'll see. I might do something with that one. This says Sending Springtime Smiles, and this fun little scrap has got some cool little flowers on it. So I may just do a trim, a straight cut on here and use that piece. In fact, let's just do that. Okay. So whatever I decide to do off of else with that, that'll be a great little start. I've got some nice blue on this one. That would be nice to add some color on there. I also just have some strips that are already cut. And we'll keep playing with that. There's a fun little circle embellishment here that matches this one really well. I'm just going to keep opening and digging and see what we've got. Like I said, that's already ready to go. That will make this just kind of a quick, fun process. Ooh, look at this guy. So there's a really fun floral there that would bring in kind of the blue and pink and tie that together. So I'm just going to lay this here so that I remember to go back to it. Okay, this one's got just kind of a fun floral, or excuse me, a fun little outlined heart that pulls in some of that yellow tone. That would be really cool on this one. Oh man, look at how big that is. I could have created a whole nother card front on there. So what happens with these double Kwik card kits is you run out of sentiments really before you run out of paper. And that's why it's kind of cool to just be able to go back in and see what you've got and figure out where you can use things with these sentiments out of the club kits. Okay, so just hang on to those scraps when you do one of the card kits. Don't give up on the idea of being able to do a little bit more. I do like this green with this one. So I think I'm going to leave that there. I think the biggest thing is going to be coming back and deciding what shape I want to cut the sentiments into. So I've got tons of extra stuff here. This is a cool green too. I don't know, I actually kind of like this stripe maybe a little bit better. And here's the last one of these. We'll see what we got. All right, so this has got all of those colors that are in here. Do you see that fun little flower on there? It's kind of subtle, but it definitely has kind of the gold and the pink along with these two. I think will be awesome. All right, so I've got plenty of pieces to play with. Let me see what I might want to do with these sentiments. So my go-tos for cards tend to be like on tiny notations. I use this one a lot to create just a little thing with this sentiment. Once in a while I'll use this. Then we've got this new expression set that's got some neat designs on it. Let's see. Neither of these are really big, so I don't know that I want to go that large with something. This one is super cute, and I could just make it not quite so tall. So I kind of like that little tag feel where it's going to have that pointy edge. I'll do something with that one. And wonder, let's see if this one's big enough. Oh yeah, it actually is. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one to cut this sentiment. So let me get those traced and cut real quick, and then I'll pop back on and we can do a little bit more creating for these 3 cards. Alrighty, so I'm happy with how these are coming together so far. I'm thinking that with this one that I may want to design the card to go this way. I'm just kind of picturing this coming down more on a tall card instead. So I'm gonna look at that and think about it going that direction instead. So let's see what we've got. I think we'll go ahead and focus on this one first. I've got this one kind of border piece already ready to roll. Now, this is a piece that I've got to think about because the way that this was already cut, I would need to think about where I'm going to place that. And I'm not sure that it's going to work for what I want, but we'll see. I am going to do another piece down here. So let's grab a border. And when this set was sold, it was really marketed with the Frolic border. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with that for what we're working on. And I really love this scallop. So I'm going to use this to create just a little piece here for the lower part of this card. And I hope that as you guys are working with these different kinds of products that you're just thinking about different ways to use them and taking the time to use those scraps up. Going through and making a card really can be a 10-minute process, and then you're so happy that you used everything that you had. So something I definitely recommend. I tend to be somebody who will match this up and then just flip it over and do a trim. I am not constantly going back and forth to my trimmer. So we're going to go with that. I want to create a little space here in between, and I'm just going to do a strip of this patterned paper. Okay, so let me get this one cut to the right size. Scallop down here at the bottom. And then we're going to do a strip of this arrow. I'm going to take it from this end I really love these little kind of gold arrows, so I want to capture them. Okay, so again, I need to do a quick trim on this one. And it's basically going to look something like this. This piece can rest here or even higher, but I think I would like it to rest kind of like that. I'm going to go ahead and ink this one, and I can get it kind of adhered down. I'm picturing popping this up with some foam tape, and then I just want to add another little flower or something in the corner. And this set, again, was marketed with the Blossom template. So it was Frolic and Blossom were the two sets that you needed to complete all of these cards. And I really want something a little bit smaller, I think, than this blossom. So I am going to go to some of the templates that were in this month's club kit, and I'm going to grab those. All right, so for this little flower, I'm just going to use a piece off of this card. And it's just a white with a subtle pink polka dot. So I think that'll be cute. And then I want a couple of these little leaves. And I think this soft green, I don't know, that might be too soft. How about this one? That's better. I'll just do a little bit with this green, trace a couple of these little leaves. I'm going to do them from over here so I don't use up a long strip, just in case I want it for something else. Okay, so let me get these pieces. Like I said, I'll get them all cut and inked, and then we'll get this first one put together. One of the things that I wanted to show you as I'm putting this together is kind of how to problem solve if you decide to elevate something. So I did go ahead and use pop dots, or actually just some long strips of foam tape to pop this sentiment up. But I also want to have this flower here, okay? So I'm wanting the flower to be at the same level as this. So part of the flower just needs regular adhesive to adhere here, but then you still need a piece of the foam tape where it's not going to be touching this to keep it elevated up to that same level. Okay, so something like that. And now when you look at it, it's up at that same level, even though I put it on at a different time. Okay, the leaves, I'm going to go ahead and just have kind of popping out, something like that. And I went ahead and left those to where they're just going to be adhered down at the level of the card. Something like that. I do want to do just a center on here. So whether I do jewel dot or an enamel dot, something like that, or maybe I'll punch a small circle out of a coordinating color, and then I will do a little embellishing on this one. But I'm going to set it aside for now, and then we'll come back to it. For the next one, let's take a quick look at this. So far we've got the piece that I already had from the last time I played with this from the heart kit, and I'm liking it. So we're going to leave this piece, and then I want to do something with this green one. So I think, let's see if I want to, I may just leave it a strip. Yeah, that's boring. Okay, so let's look at the Frolic and see what we have that would work. I could just use another strip of border that's kind of like what's there on the bottom. I think that'll be cute. So let me go ahead and do that. But I do think we're going to need a third piece to tie it together. So I'll have to go back through that collection of scraps and find another piece to use here. So this one can go here. Maybe we'll pull in a little bit of blue. That'll be fun. So let's see what we've got. We've got a blue stripe. I don't love that with that piece being striped. This is just a solid blue. That would work. And then with this, that'd be cute. Or I've got another piece of blue here. That piece is kind of interesting with the scallop on it. So let me try that. You know I like to use stuff that's already cut. So let's see how this one looks. You get it to the right size, and then we'll give it a test run here. All right, so the floral, and then the green, and I think I would go this way. Well, it's kind of fun. I think I'm going to move it all up a little bit, and then this sentiment can just pop on top. And I'll get this cut and use it somewhere as well. So you can see how fast these come together. I do see people kind of overthink cards sometimes. Definitely don't feel like you have to recreate the wheel. Use what you've got, find shapes that are working, and just have fun with it. That's the beauty of the cards for me anyway. I like to just see what I have left at the end of a project, and I find joy in just turning that into something else. So I have a huge box of cards because I enjoy creating them, but I don't make everyone a masterpiece. So they are relatively simple, I guess, just handmade cards that people seem to enjoy. So I'm going to finish inking this one and put it together off camera, and then I'll come back and we can start working on that last one. All right, well, I decided that this one needed a little touch with that flower. So I had that little circle, and I just used the Garden Frills 2 to cut a little flower to mount that on. And then I'm going to go ahead and use this butterfly also from Garden Frills. So this is Garden Frills 3. Again, these are templates that are in the February Kiwi Club Kit. If you are enjoying these videos, but you are not a club member, so you don't have these supplies, keep in mind that they do put the overstock kits in the shop about the 15th of the following month. So at any point that you decide, I can't stand it, I really needed to have that one, join the club. At least for a while. You know, you can join it, and once you join, you have access to the kits that are in that overstock section of the shop, which it's not guaranteed that there's going to be any left over, but sometimes there are some there. That gives you an opportunity to shop, pick up that one that you missed, and then you don't have to regret it anymore, and you don't have to miss anymore. So just a thought if you are thinking, darn it, I wish I would have joined this thing. So let me get this one inked real quick, and I'll show you what I was thinking. And I will go back, I think, and embellish this a little bit more, but all right. So what I was thinking is we'll put this butterfly so it's kind of coming out behind the sign there. And then I'm just going to use a black Sharpie and create kind of a flight path for this butterfly. So we're going to assume it's going to do a little twirl and then take itself to that flower. So not a real complicated process, but just a quick little doodle that'll add a little touch. Okay, so we've got those two done and ready, which is awesome. So let's take a look at this last one. I don't need this base. I was just using that to remind myself that it was going to be on a blue base. I know I'm going to use this. I know I want this tight little scallop. This is super fun. It's definitely longer than I need if I'm going this way. So let's get the extra trimmed off. And then decide what we're going to do with this really cute floral. I think that I want kind of a bigger piece of this. So maybe I can trace it something like this. so that I get this larger chunk coming up. Yeah, I think that'll work. And I don't need the whole thing anyway, obviously, so let's go ahead and get that piece cut. And then we'll figure out where we need it to stop. I don't need this pink checker, or I don't know what you'd call that, with the cross pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that one off so that I could use it for a later project. And then this just needs to be 4 1/4. Is that right? Maybe 4. Probably 4. Yeah, 4. All right, so let's get that cut off. So we've got this going so far. I know I want this, I'm not sure. I might have it come out like down here. Might go the other way. Because I like the blue, but I don't want that much of it. So maybe something like this. And then just a little strip to seal it. So what would look good to close that off? Maybe a lighter pink. Something like this color. Or this color. I'm not sure about that. I don't like that stripe. That's the same as the background. I'm not a fan of that. That's too matchy. I kind of like the light blue. Let's see what that would look like when it's mounted on this kind of blue-gray. Yeah, that'll work. I think I'm going to go with that one. So let's get this one cut to 4 inches. All right, I'm going to go ahead and ink these all up and get this put together off camera, and then we'll come back and see how we want to embellish these. So let's just add a little bit of finishing touch on these and we'll call it done. So on this butterfly, I just want to emphasize the body and the head. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this liquid pearl, and I think that this color is rose gold, but I am not positive. They are not labeled, which is kind of annoying, but that's the way it is. And then I pulled out just my collection of enamel dots and I'm thinking that this pink, I don't know, maybe not. First I was thinking that pink was going to work well on there, but I'm having second thoughts about that. So let's take a quick gander through and find something else. Just want a nice center for that flower. So I may end up going with something totally different. Like these might work really cool. So, alrighty. So for the flower center here, I have these droplets. Oh, look, they just came flying off the package. I think I'm just going to do a yellow center on that one, which I think is pretty with that background. And then this pink caught my eye as I was flipping through. I'm just going to use one on each side of that sentiment. I think that's all that really needs. I want to do something similar on here, but I don't want it to be too bold. So I'm either going to do that kind of brownish This kind of orangey tone maybe, or even the green. I kind of like this green, but I don't have enough of it. This one is not actually a dot, so I think I'm going to flip back through there again for that one. And then on here, the only thing I may do is just a couple of little coordinating dots down here. Yeah, like those would be super cute. So let's see if I can get them off. That's always the test. There we go. So just 3 little cuties on there. I think that's just a cute little ad without doing too much. Okay, we got this one. And then the only other thing I want to do on here is find something that I can put here and here. And I think it's just going to be a green that's going to complement that one. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that search. And I'll get that finished up. I'll put some pictures at the end for you if you want to take a closer look. But I hope this gave you some ideas for using up those scraps and those extra sentiment cards and turning them into something cool. So whatever you were doing today, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have an awesome day. And I hope I see you back again soon. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.